Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. We want to take a look at the shorter time frame here because in the earlier today, previous video, I shared with you also the daily time frame. But in this video, I just want to talk to you about the shorter time frame, and I want to share with you what might be coming up. The price, in my view, could have formed or could be in the process of working on that fifth wave now. So that's good because that gives us 5 waves up now from the Thursday low. I see the same potential on several altcoin charts. Okay, so we see it across the sector, and I've published a lot of updates today. One of them might be Sui, 5 waves up. Render might be on a good way. VeChain maybe, lots of them. ADA even, even ADA. So we have these 5 waves up, and that means once we have 5 waves up, we're not necessarily waiting for a pullback, because until we get a break below previous swing low or anything, there is no sign this wave 2 has started. But it is further evidence that the market overall wants to go higher. The difference is when we then get a pullback, it can be actually an opportunity. So the market reacted to this Fibonacci support zone between 103,268 and 104,373, which I communicated late yesterday. I think it was in my last video yesterday. So the idea was that one more high would be ideal to complete this 5-wave pattern. And I just want everybody to understand that this is quite important, okay? That's why we talk about it. 5-wave move up is really important. In one of the last videos on the MCO Global channel, there was a case study on the Mara chart, Marathon Holdings. Check it out if you're interested in that chart. But it was not really about the analysis as such. It was about why are 1-2 setups important. So check that video out if you're interested. You'll find it on the MCO Global channel. And 1-2 setups are so important. First of all, if you don't know what it is, check that video out. But they are basically important because they tell us what's the trend like. It's 5 waves up. Okay, market is motivated to go higher because it is a series of higher highs and higher lows. That's what a trend is. And then when that happens, when we have 5 waves, that is normally the smallest number of, let's say, waves we can get in a sequence that tells us the trend is in a certain direction, in this case up. So it would typically be corrected because the market doesn't normally extend longer than it needs to. Okay, it's all about, it comes back to, like, why would it? It's 5 waves. There's no need for 7, 8, 9, whatever waves. Of course, it can extend, right? And of course, there are other scenarios. But that means once we have 5 waves up completed, yeah, and it's not even, I don't even have a local top yet. But it is then time to add support for wave 2. Thanks so much for watching the videos on this YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about joining MCO as a member, now might be a great time. You can use the link in the video description and apply the discount code right below it. You will get 50% off your first month of our Gold membership, and you can explore everything we offer. It's the easiest way to test the membership, see if it's a good fit for you, and get a feel for the community, join the conversation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in our member area. Whether we started the pullback or not, everybody needs to understand these are now, basically we get an upgrade here, these are now the relevant risk levels, because it allows the price, if needed, after 5 waves up, it means that all of this move up, there's a likelihood it gets corrected. So we get that pullback, right? After a 5-wave move in one direction, typically this entire move gets corrected. That's not bearish, that's simply a counter trend move because the market needs to breathe. Breathing in, breathing out, like we all have to. So it's just in the rhythm, right? You also don't think about breathing, right? It just happens. So that's just in the rhythm. That's the normal market rhythm. 5 waves up, and then typically we're watching for that 3-wave pullback. Now, I did make it very clear in some of the member updates earlier today that, when we have a 1-2 setup here, sometimes the market just breaks out directly, especially in the crypto sector. So while I am tracking another 1-2 setup, I mean, the market might just take the direct route, okay? 5 waves up only mean trend is up. It does not mean we have to get a pullback. There typically should be one, right? Again, it's all about probabilities. It's not like a like a law of nature that we have to get another wave 2 here. It's just very, very likely after 5 waves up. Now, I mentioned in the last video that the ideal target for that 5th wave is around 106 to 107K. I mean, striking distance could go a little higher. I think that would be ideal. And then we'll see once we get a break below specifically this previous swing low there at 134K, which is kind of the overnight low, then this should indicate that we've started this wave 2 or wave B pullback, okay? So it could also be just a B wave pullback, but we're looking at the 15-minute chart, so we don't need to distinguish between these two because they share the same support area. On the larger time frame, I discussed the difference earlier today. So that means now with this additional push higher, just be ready. We might get that B wave or wave 2 pullback at any point. I think in the very short term, it might stretch a little higher into that target area I marked here. These two previous swing highs, yeah, and also looking at Fibonacci extensions, proportions. I think I showed that to you yesterday. It would be quite likely to stretch a little higher. So for example, sometimes we track for the internal 5th wave, the 61 or the 50% extension. So that takes us here into this region, 106.5K to 107.1K. Sometimes it reaches only the 38% extension. And again, that is where it starts, right? 106K. So we just haven't touched it yet. Again, I'm normally a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm looking for the perfect structures. That being said, if we now get a break below 104K, that's our 1-2 setup right there, or our AB setup. And the pullback should also be an ABC structure itself. But I'm going to delete that again because we haven't started it. Okay, at least it's not obvious at this point. So that gives us a good overview of what Bitcoin is doing here. It's good performance for a Saturday, I can tell you that, because on a Saturday, making another high is not that common. I think I shared it earlier today already that, you know, if we get nice breakouts or new highs on a Saturday, and there's some volume behind it, and you feel the energy, you know, and across the sector you start to see movements, not just Bitcoin alone. There's something happening, and that tells me a lot about the space. So I'm quite optimistic, but I will not be optimistic anymore if that support level breaks at 101,572. So that is the key support. For those of you who don't know, in any 1-2 setup or AB setup, the 78.6 retracement level is the level that really needs to hold to keep the overall upside expectations alive. Below that level, well, we don't technically have invalidation, but it's basically invalidation. Like more than 90% of setups typically fail if we get a decisive break below that 78.6 retracement level. And again, in this case, it's 101,570. The real invalidation point is down here. I can mark that in red on the chart. It's at $100,470, plus minus a few dollars depending on your exchange. But the bottom line is we're kind of in no man's land if the price breaks below Fibonacci support, but holds above the invalidation point. But yeah, promising price action. Yeah, it's quite constructive. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Tomorrow in our membership, we've got our quite popular member live stream. Every Sunday we do that at 5 p.m. UTC. Typically we cover around like 40 charts, coins, answer requests and questions in these streams. So if you want to participate, check it out. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.